on my garden.
She planted some peas.
You're gonna be in trouble.
And took care of them and everything, and finally it come harvest time, and she had about that many, about that high, 1 feet high, in a pan, and decided to cook them. And forgot about them on the stove.
Well, you didn't tell the first part. I picked them the first time, and I had a little tiny bowl of peas, so I put them in the refrigerator. I said, I'm gonna put these in there, and maybe I'll wait till I grow some more, or I'll get some frozen peas and mix with them, and have some peas. Well, I come home from babysitting, and I said, where'd those peas go? He said, oh, I put them in the microwave, and they wouldn't get soft, so I threw them out. I thought they were left over. So then the next time I said, I'm just going to go ahead and cook them tonight so we can put them in the microwave.
Yeah.
And I went in the other room to do something and forgot about them. Burned up. So I said, I give up on this year's pea crop.
Well, you had some fun growing them though.
It was all in fun.
And this year, we got planned a great conference that Debbie and Don are going to join us at for AACC in Orlando. I mean in Nashville.
We're not going to
Did I tell you the wrong place?
You're telling them it's in Orlando, right?
Debbie is.
You said it was Maui.
Debbie is a board certified coach with the organization. And so we're looking forward to some time together and a great conference. They've got, expect 7,000 to 8,000 people for it. So we'll have to find our way around. But in case y'all didn't know it, Opryland is the largest indoor conference facility in the world.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Well, I thought they sung hillbilly music there.
Yeah, there may be some. Yeah, they've got, I think it's like 5,000 rooms inside, all in the one building. And that's why there's larger conference centers, because they use a lot of other hotels.
On an unrelated note, people in Tennessee can't count to 5,000, so they're just guessing.
Okay.
That's all, folks.
Okay. Let's see. Where's Janice? Janice or Carolyn or?
He can speak for us.
He can speak for us. I want to hear from. Also want to hear from Chris and Candy and Martin.
We're hiding over here.
Yeah. So Janice, kick it off.
Don't have all the changes that all the other folks have. Very no change here. I'm an official vendor at the farmer's market, and I dragged out some overalls so I could look like Dad when he was carrying eggs. It's really a lot of fun. It's really a fun hobby. Farmers market's now the social event of like going to town used to be. When you were a kid, nobody can go to town, but they come to the farmers market and they all walk through. They tell them buy anything, but it's a pretty good fun time. This is my first time to be a official on the grounds Little League parent. Micah went to play baseball for the first time. I'm not sure he had ever had a baseball in his hand or a bat, but he went and signed up for Little League. And he got number 9 batter,
And played right field.
he played right field.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed it. He learned to hit the ball.
He made a home run on the last
And he moved over to center field before the summer was over, but he didn't He didn't ever really get catching down, but there aren't any other 7, 8-year-olds that have it down either. So, in the last game, the playoffs, I had to be late getting there, and I walked up to the fence and yelled at him, so he would know I was there, and he was just coming up to bat. And he whacked his little old grounder to the first base, and the first baseman missed it, and then he throws it to the second baseman missed it. By the time Mike was there, he got a home run on that little old grounder. It's an official Little League home run. And I don't know any other things to report.
Martin had his first year at college.
Yeah, I did have a big 7-0 birthday, and my
Yeah.
siblings threw me a party, cookout, and all that kind of thing.
Where was that at?
At the park.
Right, Chris Clark. And Chris came in, carried a bucket of chicken as late as could be. Said he was being Uncle Raymond for the party. Like,
I was trying to keep up the tradition. Somebody comes to play with chicken.
Okay, let's hear from Chris and Candy and Martin.
Martin finished his first year at UK. Changed from engineering to pre-law now. We weren't really surprised, but we went up to visit him one Saturday, I guess it was, and we were driving down the road, and he said, I need to talk to you all. We were like, okay.
that's always a bad sign when they say that.
And he says, you're changing your major, aren't you? How'd you know? Well. So, Martin is now pre-law, business, undergrad, economics. Candy has finally been given the position teaching at school that she should have been. She's now the middle school choir director and the high school choir director at Corbin. So she's pretty excited about that.
And maybe most importantly, we're growing our first garden.
We are going hard. We have not had any pea incidents yet.
And my first tomato, the first thing out of our garden is gonna happen while I'm out of town. I'm devastated. But the people that are keeping up with it are gonna take a picture.
So we're gonna miss the first fruits.
Yeah.
But anyway. UK's Opera Theater is doing Les Mis next semester, and Martin just auditioned because he wanted to be part of the show and actually got a part. So Martin's gonna be in Les Mis in October. Pretty cool.
And Carol, that'll be a trip for you to come down for.
That's right, Martin's Theater.
I look for good reasons, or not so good reasons.
We came to see Martin in his thing. I videotaped it.
His last high school one.
Lisa, you probably,
Dad shared all my Micah news.
well, you probably saw some of that stuff from a little different angle than this. No? Well, it maybe would be good for you not to talk about it.
Yeah. Keep it all secret.
I think she was the instigator of the birthday party. Because I really didn't know that Janice was going to get a 0 on his birthday.
Well, Don and Debbie, you want to report from the Lee Jones side of the family and Kim over there?
Yeah, you go first.
She has news. Martin's coming to visit her.
She's getting the extra room ready for me.
Although you have to come when my mom's not there. Sadie
Yeah, but they're
told
going on
me-
vacation while I'm at your house, so I'll be on.
Sadie said, you can come to my house, but you can't sleep on my bed. You have to sleep on the floor because my meeting's coming.
You have to wait.
Let's see. Our kids Kim homeschooled this past year, Logan and Sadie. And this coming year, she's becoming the director of the co-op that they attend. So that's a big change for her. Karen, who was all concerned last winter because she was trying to take these 2 courses to get into nursing school, which is really competitive. And she kept running down to check on Grandpa and to be with me, made it into nursing school. So she's
Yes.
Yay.
next month.
But she already had her first patient.
Terrific.
And Kara's starting her very last year finally, teaching, so she'll graduate in May and be ready to teach finally. That's the big stuff for kids, right? We're kind of like Janice, we're kind of plodding along now. Everything's happening for the kids, we're just kind of watching it from the sideline. Donnie's boys, Corey's kind of been starting slowly going into the office and learning the insurance stuff to try to help out. Tyler keeps looking for a job. He hasn't quite landed the one he wants yet. He does some good woodworking.
Does he like insurance?
No, he won't. Mom's kind of hanging in there. Good days and bad days. That's about it. Same as Mom. Good days, bad days.
Looked to me like Don has been practicing being a great grandpa. I was impressed with the way he has,
He's an excellent grandpa.
the way he worked with those little guys last night and then again today at the tree, so I want to compliment him on being a good grandpa.
Uncle Kenneth, I thought you had a surprise there because you said he was practicing being a great grandpa. Yeah, that was a surprise.
Let's assume for that.
You know what I thought too, David? I was like, wait a minute, what did I do?
Well, I'm going to exercise privilege and be last, so I'm going to call on Ruth to tell me if anything's happening with their family.
I think you all know the news.
We know the big news.
The big news is Mom said she would never, ever get married.
Yeah, I know that. She said that when we were up there.
She said that in February, I believe.
Yeah.
Beginning of February.
Until I threatened to bring
And
my
then
brother
until Al scared her, that's right. Until he was gonna bring his alcoholic brother and make her date him. But she'd have to keep lots of beer in the refrigerator, and she decided she better go find her own man. But it was funny because she pressured me into going to a Valentine dinner with her, and I took off work, and then she called me and said, Raymond's coming. It's not a date. And then we got to the Valentine dinner, and she went, have you met my date? Have you met my date? Have you met my date? And then she said, the next day she called and said he's coming to take me to dinner. And then the next day she called and said, he's coming down, he's got something to ask me. So in a matter of, I don't know, a month, they were engaged. And she not only got married, but she moved away and left us all. With her house, fully stocked. She packed her clothes and left everything else. Left it all. So we cleaned out her house. She's very happy, but it's been weird because, we're used to having her a mile away, and now she's more like 20-something miles away, and she doesn't drive on the highway. Or she didn't until she got married. She was coming down the other day, and she called me. She said, I just got off the highway. I said, you did what? It was taking too long the other way. So she's very happy. And when God says this is right, then we're going to back for 100%. So it's been awesome. They were very sad they couldn't get here, but they called and were on their way, and the roads were horrible and the rain was horrible, and I said, please go home. You just turn around and go home. It's not worth running that risk. So hopefully next year they'll be ready to join us and be able to go here.
Will you have a brother or sister by that time?
Well, if you're ready to talk, you might be worried about that. I gotta share way too much of it.
40-some years. And when we were cleaning out the house, it was really interesting because we would find like journals that Dad had written, and he would say, we're at such and such, and we're waiting for Raymond and Joanna to join us for dinner and things like that. So they just have such a history, and they went out together to celebrate Dad and Joanna's birthday every year. So this year, Mom and Raymond went to dinner to celebrate Joanna and Raymond, and Dad's birthday. So it's been special. It's been really good. As far as my brothers and sisters, I'm not really sure I have those anymore, though, because they're not here. But Phyllis chose to go west this weekend. Dwayne is in Iowa, and they don't get to see him often, so they worked it out to meet halfway for the weekend. So Rachel and Nathan and Phyllis and Ed went out to meet him and his kids. And then Jeff and Rachel are preparing for a wedding because their oldest is getting married in August in Michigan. And Jerry and Connie are very, very busy with the church, and he had a funeral he had to conduct this weekend, so they couldn't be here either. We're here. We'll be here as long as we're able. Had a little setback with Jack's health, but we're still really optimistic. He's back on his chemo in an oral form, so he literally just started. We don't know what the side effects will be, but the doctor is very good and very positive, so we're just trusting God's guidance, and as long as we're able, we'll join you all again next year.
And I can just hear the grandkids just a year or two from now, they meet this person they've fallen in love with, and they want to get married within 4 months or 2 months, and your parents are trying to say, no, I need to slow down, take time. Well, Grandma did.
Parker says, but I do have to share that they always call my mom Grady Jones. So Parker and I were in the car and we were driving over to Mom's house and we were talking about getting married, talking about Raymond, and his last name is Webb, and so Parker now calls her Granny Spider Webb.
Good name. Jack, you got a chance in front of this crowd to
No, don't encourage him.
to say anything you want to.
Don't you have a joke for us?
No, I don't want to start that. We don't have that much time.
Yeah.
But I have stage 4 colon cancer, diabetes, and severe depression. I'm seeing a psychologist now and some different things. And things were a step back when the doctor said that one of the tumors in my lung was showing up on a PET scan, so we had to start chemo again. And it should take care of it. Hopefully it did the last time, so we're hoping in 3 months the next PET scan will be clear. And besides that, CVS is staying in business as long as I ain't spitting dirt. So, I take about almost 30 pills a day and 5 shots of insulin a day, 2 different types of insulin. But besides that, grandkids I look forward to, and it's pretty much it.
We're all praying for you, Jack. We believe that we serve a great and generous God.
I feel pretty good right now. I have some good days and bad days. That's about it for me.
Okay. I think it comes down to us, and I'm going to let Jim report on what his family's doing, and then I'll end it up.
Well, we haven't been here for a while. I don't think this guy he wasn't around the last time I was here. So we've been living in DC for a while now with our boys. And we're happy to be here for sure. It's great to take the boys down to the Falls of the Branch and get Huey stung by a bunch of bees. This is what I did. And it's been an interesting couple of years for us too. Losing Mom and then gaining Karen. And it's seeing Dad happy is very nice. He's always been a pretty jolly guy, but I can't even get him on the phone anymore because he's off busy doing something, and that makes me feel good because Dad, if any of you knows Dad, the thing he wants to be more than anything else is busy puttering. And we have a garden in DC too that is about a quarter of the size of what's left of this room, and it's awesome, isn't it, Maya?
It's a busy place. Talking about vegetables.
Yeah, and our as far as our life, we live on a street where all the houses are all crammed together. And about a year ago, I built a sandbox in the front yard, a big sandbox. My boys were getting too big for it, and it has now turned into the community playground sandbox and changed our neighborhood entirely. So that now we don't have to plan to do anything anymore with any kids because we are the entertainment on the street. So we hope to get to more of these more often. It's good to get Dad across the country, and he's coming to see us after this. So it'll be good.
He had
Did you ever report on your political aspirations?
He had a great accomplishment this year.
I did.
Yeah, about the license plate.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one thing. Yeah, I work for an organization that tries to get more attention to the fact that DC doesn't have a vote in Congress, and our city's license plate. If you look at my license plate, you see it'll say taxation without representation. And we were involved in getting President Obama to put that on his car because, of course, the presidential limousine, they don't want anything really political on it, surprisingly. But we went onto his website and started a petition, and actually through that and some other pressure got him to change the license plate before the inauguration. So now he actually has the real Washington D.C. license plate on there. Great. That was pretty exciting.
And as an artist, Maya, you had a couple of good shows and sold a painting.
Well, I did have one show.
And we sold Ed.
Since Huey's it's a little harder to make that happen. But I've been teaching and taking care of the boys when I can, getting in some of my own work.
Well, Karen and I celebrated our first wedding anniversary on the 30th of March. That has been a good decision for both of us. We feel that we didn't meet by chance, and we are just having a grand time. I'll talk about the other kids a little bit. Dawn and Miranda had lived with us for some time, and they've got their own place. Both of Dawn's girls got their RN degrees this year, and Christina moved to Michigan, and she's working in a hospital in Jackson, Michigan now, and we stopped and had
Same hospital she was born in.
Yeah, the same hospital she was born in. We stopped and saw her on the way here. Miranda has a school nurse job in the same school district where her mother is the head school nurse of the district. They had quite a shock when they moved out into their own place after living with Grandpa for a long time. Ken is still in real estate. He gets involved in lots of causes. They were main sponsors of some of the Wounded Warrior events, and dogs adopt them, and sometimes horses. They are supposed to be their own private animal rescue place, and well, it wasn't necessarily supposed to be their own private animal rescue, but when they get these dogs, they don't get rid of any of them. And last count I had, they have a kennel license, and they had 13 dogs, 2 Dobermans and 2 Bassets. He's out of Dalmatians right now.
And Rottweilers.
Yeah, Rottweilers, not, did I say Dalmatians?
I think you said Dobermans.
Dobermans, the Rottweilers, not Dobermans. And a pit bull or 2, so at least part. So, and he has a significant person in his life, and she helps. She's as bad about, maybe worse, adopting animals, and the city, I think, has kind of learned where they live, so people from the city let animals loose out on that street.
I think it's true.
He reported to me that since I've been gone, that real estate is doing a lot better, that they have more buyers now, and they have houses, which is kind of the way it is most places right now. And it's hard to, you think you've got a place sold, and when you go to present your offer, there are 5 or 6 other people there with an offer, so it's not a for sure thing. I've really been quite well for the past year. Had a little problem with a stiff neck. Of course, I was always kind of stiff-necked, but I had a problem about 3 weeks before we left, and worked through that and are doing well. I've almost worn out my first pacemaker. I tried to get them to replace it before I left, but they said, well, just stop by any place and have it done. It gives you, go into Walmart's clinic, yeah.
Pick up some AA batteries.
Yeah. So the second time, or they last about 7 years, and I've had mine almost 7 years, and it's not a real involved process the second time around. They just put them in underneath the skin, so they just take them out and put you in a new one. You use the same wiring, so you don't have to get complete plumbing again. And I've almost worn out a set of hearing aids, so I'm looking forward to the next set. So.
But don't get them confused.
Yeah, we'll put them in a different. Good idea, Don. So.